here. All right, all right, all right. Okay, we are live. We are live. I think I set this to the right date. All right. I think I set this to the right date. We got track FIFA and the big elephant to grow the sport. So yeah, again, I don't expect too many people to show up here, if at all, on this one. But I will be doing this live stream. I'm just gonna be coming back, whether it's two people, whether it's zero or 100 or 1,000. We're gonna be out here showing out as we always do. As far as this is Head and Shoulders ATR, where we cover athletes, performances, and otherwise that are head and shoulders above the rest. So right now we got the World Cup president. World Cup president. President. Uh oh, I'm losing his name. President Gianni Infantino. Right now they're calling him and saying this guy is a loose cannon or something like that. He's off his rocker. Um, he said he feels like a migrant worker. All right now. All right. Let's not get too far now. All right, let's not get too far. FIFA president announces additional $1 billion investment. Now, y'all saw this, right? He was calling out the hypocrisy for the Westerners and everything, right? Right? He was calling out the hypocrisy. Shout out to everybody that's coming out here, by the way. Smash that like button. But he was calling out the hypocrisy about all of the Western or European media. Let's just call it as it is, saying that Qatar has human rights violations and so on and so forth, right? But he was talking about saying, look, the Europeans have been doing things for the last 3,000 years. So we need to be apologizing for the next 3,000 years, right? He said we need to be apologizing for the next 3,000 years, right? Is that good enough for you guys? An apology for the next 3,000 years? Just let me know. Is an apology good enough for you guys for the next 3,000 years? All right. Now, this is the only site that I can get to that's not saying, hey, my ad blockers are not getting in the way of that. Is that good enough? So let's go here. Let me show the let's show the screen here. I believe this should be able to show us the screen. No, it's not allowing us to show the screen. So give me just a moment. All right, there we are. So we should be able to see the screen. There it is. Now, here it is. It says Europe should apologize. No, Europe should apologize for the next 3,000 years. FIFA President Infantino's explosive remarks ahead of World Cup. So this was last week. Let's see if we can get that read full story. He says, quote, I think for what we Europeans have been doing for 3,000 years around the world, we should apologize for the next 3,000 years before starting to give moral lessons to people, Infantino said. Now, that sounds like, okay. He started off this note by saying that he understands how it felt to be marginalized. Really? Giving an account of how he was bullied in school for being different. Seems he's still alive, unlike many people that are marginalized, particularly the black ones. But okay, today I have very strong feelings. Today I feel Qatari. Today I feel Arab. Now, okay, this is some, I'm white and I say so, to be honest. They could just be like, I'm anything. A white person be like, I'm black. Oh, that's whatever that lady's name was. Now, if you're black and you try to say that, like that one black dude and one black African guy said he was German or something, and he was trolling or whatnot. or else that's what he said anyway. Saying that he was German and then people were outraged about it. Well, there you go. I'm white and I say so. If they say they're a donkey today, they said I can be a donkey, not you. And if donkey is the most valuable thing on the planet, then so be it, because I'm white and I say so. So I don't know if he realizes that. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt, though. Today, I feel African. Today, I feel gay. Today, I feel disabled. Today, I feel a migrant worker. Poetic words. Poetic words. Poetic. Of course, I'm not Qatari. I'm not Arab. I'm not African. Not gay. Not disabled. Not really a migrant worker. I feel like them because I know what it means to be discriminated. As a foreigner in a foreign country, as a child at school, I was bullied as I had red hair and freckles. Okay, that's just infighting, man. That's the tribalism between y'all. Come on now. That's not the same at all. Clearly, you're fine now. You're the FIFA president. Your life is just fine. Your bald head is now good. Okay, great. No more red hair. You don't got to worry about it. He further added. But I will give him the benefit of the doubt that at least he has some empathy. Now, what I want him to do is the same thing he said. They're going to invest an extra $1 billion into soccer. That's what he was talking about. Okay, where's your extra $1 billion of reparation fines on behalf of the West, as you say, or the Europeans? Actually, you say it directly, the Europeans. Because remember, FIFA is based out of Europe, European sport, and all of this other good stuff. All right, where is the extra $1 billion? Come on, roll the money. That's what we're looking at. Where is the extra $1 billion that's given out to the people? You know, what's the extra $1 billion? Now, I can see that either this isn't popular with the audience, or and maybe we just don't want to defend ourselves or whatever, or demand the same thing they demand from us. Kyrie was told to pay up. So why is it that when somebody that doesn't look like black skin, because every time a black person does something, is paying up, is illegal, it's legal, and financial is the way they hit our pockets, and we don't even got money like that. We got less money than them collectively. So why is it that anytime a black person does something, they hit you at your pockets? Kanye West, they hit him at his pockets. Kyrie Irving, and he didn't even do anything wrong, they hit him at his pockets. They pull up things that shouldn't have been pulled up. And then they hit you at your pockets and legal. So maybe we need to hit other people at their pockets, and then maybe they'll start to, actually recognize that things should be done differently. Now, if this isn't a topic that people like to hear on the channel, I guess my channel's not going to be seen anymore. On top of being shadow banned. And I got even some evidence here today. For the people that will watch this later, I want you to go to the community post. It appears that my community posts are no longer being shown, at least for the last two posts there. They're not being shown. Right? They're not being shown. Let me see if I can bring this up on the screen here. I did take a screenshot, as I do. Let's talk about this. We're going to be talking about track and field. We're going to be talking about soccer, FIFA. Now, this is very interesting. I was told that I should make some videos regarding FIFA. Now, many people will say many things. Will they come out to watch them? That's the big question. Now, where is that post at? Let me bring this up on the screen. Here we go. Now, how can I show this on the screen? How can I show this on the screen? I think I can drag it back here. Here we go. You see this, guys, on the screen. Now, I did this as a separate channel. Now, I own multiple YouTube channels. Call it 10. I probably got more. Now, I own multiple YouTube channels. And for some reason, it suggests my own posts, right? Which, of course, you see I like the one with Elon, and I didn't like the other one. Sometimes I like them, sometimes I don't. Really, I don't like my own posts. But in this case, I did. Now, it says latest post from Head and Shoulders ATR. You would assume that it means the latest post, right? Not from a day ago, because this gets a little bit awkward. This gets a little bit awkward when today is November 26, 2022. 2022, and you guys notice that I've posted up twice since then, right? I've posted up twice since then. Let's go over to my own page. I'm going to go over to my page right now. Let's go over to my channel. All right, let's go over to my channel. And of course, now we have someone here. Let's see. Here it is. Let's go over to my channel. I'm going to bring it up on the screen. Sorry about that noise in the background. My rabbit is... Yo, rabbit, calm that down. She's chewing real hard on this. So let's go over on this screen real quick. And let's show what the latest posts are. The latest posts are the ones that I just posted up right here with President Infantino. Now, I did tag some other channels, FIFA, EA Sports, FIFA, and then I tagged the CAF, which is for Africa. CAF TV, actually. Now, this post isn't shown as the latest post. No, nor is the one I talked about Jerry Jones, where I tagged other people in, particularly the Dallas Cowboys, about how they need to pay up. Now, why is it that the post I talk about here, that just is, I mean, in a way, calling out, or you could say whining about Elon Musk being anti-black or anything like that, okay, but the post that I have about them paying up money, because remember, if you talk about equality and all of these things, that's perfectly fine. Let's strive for equality. We need to fight for equality and equal justice. But as soon as you talk about real restorative justice, the money and the jobs at the executive level, then you notice in life that some things just don't really work out like that. And this is one of those things. I want you guys to know this. So this is some things that are behind the scenes, whether you see content creators up there or not. And this is very important. Some of you guys will go to sleep on topics like this and say, oh, well, I don't care about that. You should, because this affects every level of your life. And if you're not one of those people, then, hey, I can't force you to care. But at least some people will be caring. And at the end of the day, I'll just keep beating this drum the same way they beat the drum over our heads and tell us that we're less than for our skin color because of our place of origin, right? So in any case, as you can see the evidence here, it says the latest post is the one I talked about, Elon Musk, as you can see, is 2 posts ago. 2 posts ago. I just wanted to point that out for you guys. Now let's move on. Let's move on a little bit. But I will say this. Here's what I say. Great job at calling you guys yourselves out. Great. Now, let's say $40 million a year. Now, that's nothing when you guys got $1 billion in profit. That's not even 10%. Because really, it should be 100 million. But this is no less than 40 million. Now, I say that most of the money should go to black businesses and communities, which I think will be served the greatest. But that also means the black players, both current and former, need to be paid out. They were limited. All right? They were limited. Also, 50% of the executive board on FIFA needs to be black. 20 of them from the United States, because that's a growing market, right? And I say no matter the, quote, qualifications. Now, obviously, you don't want some goofball or something there, because this is a business and you don't want that. But if they're capable and everything like that, and they don't have the, quote, qualifications ahead of time, that's what the other 50% of the executive board is supposed to be there. To mentor them, to show them the things there, because China had the 50-50 deal, and they said, hey, you want to do business here? 50% of it has to be Chinese executives. They got to be Chinese. I don't care if they got the degree that you guys claim they need. They need to be in those spots, and they need to be chosen by us. So the same thing can happen with us. Hey, the grassroots people, regular people, not some sock puppet organizations, not somebody that you guys say, oh yeah, they are your black spokesperson, like Roly Poly Martin or something like that. Right? None of them, none of these elected officials or selected, where they just don't have somebody running against them, and at the time they do, they will rig elections or something like that, whatever they do behind the scenes with their family members. Right? So we need to have that. That's what we need to have. This is going to ensure the growth of our sport. Why? Because quite frankly, if we get more black people involved in the sport of track and field, this has everything to do with track and field. I think we'll have a more entertaining and easier to consume sport. We just need more black people involved at a higher level because we know what we're talking about, right? We know what we like. We know what other people are liking. Black people tend to be the trendsetters. So why not have black people at these executive roles that will actually help grow the sport, man? Isn't that easy? And also ensure that you publicly denounce and distance yourselves from any of the coaches and fine and fire them that speak out against black players. Now, if you fired them, replace them with the black coach. Again, same qualifications here, right? And you find them. And when you find them, that money not only goes to you, that goes straight into the hands of black people. Okay? It's not going to find them for the organization for speaking out. No, that goes into the hands of the black people. Now, another thing here, you urge other companies and governments to do the same as you are. Once you start paying up that, you say, hey, look, Deutsche Bank, did y'all do something back then? Maybe y'all need to do something. You know, maybe y'all got to do something. Did you guys have a hand in this? Because you saying, hey, Europeans have been doing it. What does that mean? Does that mean Deutsche Bank? Does that mean the German government? Does that mean the United Kingdom, which is so obviously going against Africans? Right? So they need to do that. Once we can start doing these things, then we can start doing sports that are very entertaining, other things that are very good, like rocket ships and everything else. We can actually focus on doing things like that instead of having to defend ourselves. Each and every turn we getting wiped out. And as he was pointing out earlier this year, there are Africans that are swimming and going through dangerous situations to get to FIFA. So since he called it out himself, we didn't even have to do it. He did it himself. Great. Apologies not good enough. I don't need 3,000 years of apology. What does that do for my family that you've held back? What does that do for the money that you've already accumulated and that is stuck in your bank accounts? Okay, and the ownership of lands that you bought in Africa and the Caribbean that you own there and in the US. What does that do for me? Apologies do nothing. Because you can apologize and still have ownership, and then you get all the control. Because then I have to go to your businesses, I have to then use your products, I have to do all of this that you control. So, because you've said it, President Infantino, thank you. Now, let's repair the damage in a real way, and I will host up a live stream. I will do it between FIFA, you, myself, and the audience here and anywhere else. I will host it up on this YouTube channel. I'll do it on Zoom. We can start hashing it out. Then whatever we can't do, like, publicly or whatever, that's fine. But anything else, we could talk about the broad strokes of things in the public, all the main arguments that we need to have in that contract in the public. I don't need any money for that, by the way. I don't need any money for that. I will apply just like anybody else, and the public can determine whether I get any payment or anything like that. I need absolutely no money in doing all of that. I will host it up on my own dime, and I'll do that. Let's have this set, because this will lay the framework for what we can do for other sports. Now, like I said, this has direct involvement with track and field, because if we can get this out of FIFA, then we can go over to other organizations and say, hey, maybe you guys have done some questionable things. Why aren't your staff members, where the Americans, particularly the black Americans, are dominating, and yet we don't see any of them in any particular positions of power in world athletics, IAAF? Why is that? Why don't we see any of the athletes? Because you have a lot of former athletes that actually get there. Sergey Bubka, he was in an executive role. Why don't we see a large amount of people in a rotation at the executive level that represents the people that are actually doing the sport very well at the highest levels? Why don't we see that? Because I'm sure that they have applied. I am sure that they have applied. It's not just, oh, this is out of nowhere. So let's look at the next thing. I want to bring something else. And like I said, guys, it says my latest post is the one from Elon Musk. I want y'all to do the same thing. Don't just take my word for it. Type in the name and then scroll all the way down. Scroll, just keep scrolling and see where it goes to the community post. I had to go so far down. Now I looked at. I'm gonna hit this one more time, and then I'm going to get to something else. So bear with me in mind. I know this topic isn't as interesting to people, but YouTube is gonna owe us money too, because this is here's the thing right here. Here's the thing right here. All right. I want you guys to know this because this informs with our sport. If I can't get my videos out, then I can't help grow the sport. Same thing with any other black content creators. Yeah, sure, they can get big. How come the non-black content creators in the sport of track and field are bigger channels than the black ones? And yet they give out just as good information? Is it showing that we have self-hatred or something? Is that what it is? Because I've noticed that too in the world of track and field. The content creators seem to be getting boosted. So now let's look at why that could be. All right? Because I noticed that. We got to call these things out as they are. Why is that? Okay. So it says when you search on YouTube, and you can find this information when you search on the desktop version, probably mobile, but desktop, and it says like some exclamation point, and it says why these results or something. So it says when you search on YouTube, reprioritize 3 factors to provide you with the best results: relevance, engagement, and quality. Okay, let's go these one by one. If you are relevant, like let's say it's about shoes. Okay, hold on just a second, guys. Give me about 30 seconds. Let me get my rabbit to stop doing this. As soon as I said that, she just stopped and looked. It's okay. I think you guys can hear this, right? Let me know if the sound is too loud in the background with that. So let's say relevance. Okay, relevance is, okay, or if it's about shoes and you talk about shoes, great. Sometimes you could talk about other sports and they might suggest you to FIFA because I'm talking about FIFA in this video, so the algorithm is hearing it. Great, great. Relevance makes sense. Engagement, that means the amount of people that I guess click and like and share and whatnot. Okay, great. Quality, what the heck does that mean? That's a very vague word. The other ones kind of make sense, and then you could argue that they could play around with those. But quality, how do you assign? Is YouTube assigning quality to this? I guess they could because they're the company, maybe. But how do they determine what's quality and what isn't, since they can't see all of the videos anyway? If you can't see it because it's just too many videos, it says 500 hours of content are uploaded to YouTube every minute. Okay. Without an effective search tool, it will be almost impossible to find what you're interested in. But they determine what you find interested. So quality could be Joe Rogan calling black people Negroes, niggas, and monkeys, right? And then he gets boosted and boosted and boosted. And other people that are just average people with the right skin color, that are just talking about average topics, they get boosted. And yet in every other area of life, without an algorithm, you see that black people are leading when they're less impeded. They're still impeded. Michael Jordan leading brands, Kanye West leading Adidas. 50% of either the revenue or profit, each of the articles say something different. I was like, profit and revenue are different, but still 50% of either one of those is still fantastic, right? So when you get black people and they're actually not impeded, they're leading. And Meta, formerly Facebook, own information saw that black people set the trends. Governments have confirmed this. So why is it that we set trends all over the place, yet on all of these social media sites, we ain't the biggest channels, including in track and field? It's like in order to have a huge channel in black and track and field, you got to be a black person with a white person. Shout out to some of y'all. Other than that, it's like, yo, you can't do nothing. And it's not because white people don't subscribe or like. No, because they do it all over the place everywhere else. So no, that's not it. It's being suggested. It's being whatever this word quality means. I just want y'all to know that. Now, maybe I'm more inflammatory than other channels, so some people could argue and say, well, they wouldn't click you. Now, here's the last thing I want to show here. It's the last thing I want to show, and then I will be done with it. The last thing I want to show. Oh, I can get a copy of this conversation to my email. Great. Perfect. get a copy of this here. Hopefully this shows up. Okay. I want to show y'all some of the things here that I was dealing behind the scenes, and then I'll get back to this with track and field. Now, this is what I was dealing with the YouTube staff. So I was saying, hey, why is my community post being limited? They said you are not allowed to post up. I said being limited. I said screenshot shows evidence they are not being seen. This is the ones that I showed to you guys. Let me make sure you guys can see this on the screen. Yes. So it says, what do you mean by limited? I can definitely see your post from your community tab. And I said, all of this stuff right here, they are normally boosted. I got 10 different YouTube channels. Now, as you can see, some of my likes ain't even up there. I'm not liking my posts like that. I use, every once in a while, I like my own posts. Because why not? I like my own posts, that's why I put it out. Now, I reposted the same picture. Now, they said we do not have the capability of controlling the community posts. Then he says no one does. No one can control your community posts. Also, there are no algorithms or analytics for the community posts. And I said, wait a minute, none? So somebody could post up hate speech, and the only thing is that YouTube employees manually see it. So I'm over here like, okay, based on that, I told him earlier that there were 2 posts that I scheduled and they got deleted after a few minutes. But I copied and pasted the exact same words, and they are posts that are on my channel right now. But I was not allowed to schedule them. You guys know I have scheduled posts right now. But these 2 particular ones, we're talking about anti-black racism and white supremacy. I think I actually used the word white supremacy. That could have been the trigger thing. Now, they say anyone can post anything unless it violates. I say, what happens when it violates it? It says it'll automatically be deleted. How you gonna automatically delete something unless you got an algorithm? So I say if it's automatically deleted, it's an algorithm, right? All right, and then he starts to try to backpedal and everything. And then he says no one is targeting the channel. And I'm like, wait a minute. First you said there was no algorithm. How can I take your words? Because I'm trying to do this without having to go to the legal team. But anyway, I posted up all of this stuff. I wanted to make sure I have all of this evidence here first before I start to go to the other channels that we can go to, which are the legal means. So let me take this off of the screen. I just wanted to show you guys some of the background here because it is not really showing that at all. And since we don't know what those algorithms are, they're so behind the scenes, I don't know. Now let's talk about track and field more directly. Now we got Dina Asher Smith. What do y'all think is going to happen with Dina Asher Smith? Okay, let me refresh some of my screens here. What do y'all think is going to happen with Dina Asher Smith? Now, when you search the results for her, they say, does she have a job? I don't know why people asked if Dina Asher Smith has a job. So, and you know that I guess it says people asked if Dina Asher Smith has a job. I don't know how you don't think she has a job if she's a runner. So I don't know. Some of that sounds like, it smells like racism. Why would people be searching if she has a job? Like what? She's a professional, world-class athlete. Unless, let's give them benefit of the doubt, they say, well, you know, some athletes at the high level still have a job. I guess that's fair, but I really highly doubt that's why they're searching it. It says, does Dina Asher Smith have a job? Does Dina Asher Smith have a job? And if you think I am kidding about this, here are the results on the screen. Right here. Does Dina Asher Smith have a job? Right there. They ain't playing. They searching these things. And they're asking kind of strange questions. But yes, Dina Asher Smith, I think that she still has a chance to go and run a 10-6. I think she still has a chance to run a 10-6. Problem is I can see her having a capability. Her being injured and she's still running at her PR, she's gonna have to, she's too injury prone. That's the thing. Just like an Elaine Thompson Hero is injury prone. Dina Asher Smith is as well, except it's really inhibiting her, right? Right? It's really inhibiting her ability. And she's getting older, so it's gonna be a little bit harder for her to recover after each injury. So she's got to figure out a way to balance her sponsors wanting her to race and the money that she's getting paid from them and her ability to actually perform at a high enough level in order to get this through, if you get what I'm saying. Because some people have argued, Asafa Powell would have broken 100. He would have gotten 100 instead of 97 sub 10s. I'm like, what, man? Come on now. I know 100 is like that sacred number, but he got 97. Who's got 97 sub 10-second 100 meters? Who's got anywhere near that? Matter of fact, what's the next closest person? Half of that, maybe. So they said, hey, if he would have got that at the age of 36, no, 34. 34 was the last time he broke 10 seconds. 34 was the last time he broke 10 seconds, if I'm not mistaken. So if they're saying, hey, if he would have managed himself being injury prone and raced less, then he would have had more times under. And I'm just like, you mean 97? You mean all the times he was running and he was, quote, injured, and he still made finals? He lost not because he was injured, as he said himself. I mean, he lost because he was a head case. He said it. So what? He races a lot less, and then it extends him out to have a longer career. But then what does that do if he's still a head case? And would he have had 97? I don't know how he could have done it differently. What do you guys think about that one? What do you guys think about that one? Now, with Dina Asher Smith, I think that, like I said, she could still run a 10.6. And I think she's a force to be reckoned with. I think she's a danger in the 100. But if she keeps getting injured, it ain't going to happen. Or at least I don't see her actually doing anything that's relevant. Because now, on top of that, let's put just my logo in the background. On top of that, you have Tamari Davis coming up that's running near as fast. I think she ran a 10.83, even though that was a one time. But still, she's solidly a 10.9 low, 10.8 high athlete after breaking 11 seconds. And she's only 19. So she's on the up and up. If she avoids getting injured, and there's growing pains, so she could get an injury, but she might not. So you got a Tamari Davis that's coming up. That's out of the United States. You got a Brianna Williams that's now going toward a different coach. So she said, hey, look, Otto helped me. He's got me to where I am. He's actually supported me and helped me transition to this new coach. She's outgrown the relationship. He's helped her at the point that he could, and now she's got to move on. Hey, no hard feelings, like she said. He's still in the supportive right there. Great. Now, if you got a Brianna Williams that gets a little bit more speed endurance at the end of a race, so a lot of people don't realize that speed endurance really does help that 100. Because, okay, if it was all about just pure speed, couldn't you just hold your breath the whole time, number one? Or let's just say, okay, that's impractical, even at a 60. Okay, couldn't you just run that race and whoever was just flat out the fastest be able to hold on, right? Even if you say it's 9% or 5% something else. Remember, the tiniest of ways are the difference between winning and losing. 1/1000th of a second could be the difference between winning and losing. Right? 1/100th of a second. Those are tiny, tiny margins. So we got to think that speed endurance that helps. Why is it that Asafa Powell's running 300s and uphills and everything like that, and he's still able to run a world record in the 100? The 300 is way, way further than what he was doing. He barely ran 200s anymore. He just stopped running them. So a 300 is way, way further. 3 times as far as he needs to run in a race. So maybe he only has to train up to 150, you would think, or 200 to maximize, to specialize in that. No, he was still doing 300s. You still see other athletes that have done that. Tyson Gay, if I'm not mistaken. So you get athletes, those are speed endurance events. It's a speed endurance kind of based event. The 300, a 400, a 200 got more speed endurance right there. So if your speed endurance is improved, look at Shelly Ann Fraser Price. She's already got the rocket start. And then you combine that with the speed endurance, dangerous. So that's where Brianna Williams is sitting at right now. How is Dina Asher Smith gonna be able to handle them? Because if Brianna Williams with this new coach, I give her 2 seasons to adjust. Because this season we're gonna see the early fruits. If it is gonna be something, we're gonna see it. And then the next one, just like with Shelly Ann Fraser Price, it took her 2 seasons with that coach. And then now we just see she's magnetically attached to that 10-6. So here, let me go over the World Athletics website so we can actually look at this and look at the landscape of who Asher Smith is going to go with. If you guys have a suggestion about who I should be covering here, go ahead and do it. We're talking about growing the sport too. So while I'm loading this up in the background, how we can grow this sport is to have easily followable information, easily digested information. I'll say that. Where the events are, okay, here's the 100. We got this many rounds of this. Here it is. Here's the 200. Matter of fact, I still say and argue that we need less events. Less events. The Diamond League is already hosting up less events. They know where it's at. They know that people aren't watching all of the events like that. Real talk. We need less events. You said clickbait, LOL. Just kidding. Good morning. Good morning, Kareem. Hey, it wasn't clickbait. I talked about the things earlier in the broadcast about them limiting the channel. And if they limit the channel, that's limiting my ability to help grow the sport, right? So, I mean, that's kind of, it's very deceptive. Also, everybody go on just every day, just check out the community tab if y'all will. Just type in the channel, go to the community tab, because y'all just do that daily and just check out those posts and like them, right? That'll help, I think. If you're already shadow banned, I don't think that'll help boost it out. But if you guys can share those topics, I would like these topics to get boosted out. I can't be the only one that talks about these. I can't be the only one. Regular people can talk about them as well. About anytime something is done to us as black people, they need to be paying up. There's no longer are apologies accepted. They don't want it from us. They don't think an apology is good enough. So what we need them to do is start denouncing, forcing the other people. Because as soon as we get the first one to start paying up, the next one is going to be starting to pay up. Because they're going to say, I'm not going to be the only one. You going to pay up. But let's go over here about growing the sport. We grow the sport by easily digestible information. If I know that there's a 100, if I know that there's a 400, yeah, the 200 might be dropped. I don't know. If I know that there's a 100 or 110 hurdles, if I know that there's a 1500 and long jump or triple jump and high jump and pole vault, then I know, hey, here we go. I'm not saying those are the only events, but like I said, I would lower the events to 7 to 13. That's it. I'm looking at 7 to 13. I might add on some other ones or not. They might be irregular, like a rotation of irregular events, and I would just lower the amount of events and have it there. Although you can still get a lot of people out with that. You lower the amount of events, get more rounds, and then when you have the people get knocked out of the first round, those people that got knocked out the first round can race each other in the the best of the rest round. Okay, if you have 2 rounds, a semi and a final, those people that got knocked out in the semis, how about they race each other in one race? So that's the best of the rest. And then those people that are in the finals, that gets you TV time for the people, so they don't just get knocked out one. You get name recognition and say, okay, here. You don't even have to do it as a team-based sport if you could do it like that. I'm giving free game and free information out to these people. Otherwise, I'm not going to give out too much more. I hope I inspire one of the listeners that are not already connected to the big organizations to go out there and start one. And then, hey, look, hire me as an advisor, all right? Just hire me as an advisor. I don't want to have a direct hands-on. I will be a consultant and an advisor to your league. That would be great, and I'll cover it. Now, if we're talking about growing the sport, that is one way that we can do this. Now, let's look at the screen here. Here's what we're going to face with getting back to Asher Smith and everybody else. The reason why I'm talking about Asher Smith is because she's typically in that top 10 list year after year. This was what it was this previous season, right? The previous outdoor season. So we got Dina Asher Smith matching her personal best. She matched her personal best at a 10.83. Now, we could argue that the track in Hayward Field is faster than the one Tamari Davis ran on. Right? I think that would be easy to argue, seeing as how it's a brand new track. You know, Trike and Nike, I give them the respect of that. They're over there. They help redesign and everything like that. Now they got a full stadium, not a half one. Okay, great. We can argue that. They both ran the same time. Less win for Tamari. 2 weeks later. I think that's something to watch out for. Now, can she do it consistently and after a couple of rounds? Oh, I accidentally clicked on the name, I think. Can she do it consistently and after a couple of rounds? We will see that. I don't think so right now. Now, we got a Hobbs that I think can do well, but obviously in finals or something like that, I don't know. It's not looking too hot for a Hobbs. Talu. See, Talu can get it, but she just can't get it in the finals. We have to put this here. But Dina Asher Smith is the next person that's there. That's the reason why I'm talking about her. This is a World Championships. We can have 4 Jamaicans in the final. And if there are 4 Jamaicans in the final, with Dina Asher Smith there, I think it gets harder. If we get a Nelson to make a final, if we get a Brianna Williams to make a final, what does that look like when faced up against Dina Asher Smith? Yeah, she knows how to run finals because she surely did almost get that medal, okay? She surely did almost get that medal. Elaine Thompson-Herah almost got herself sniped off again and scalped. She almost didn't get a chance to get that. Now she does. I just have to point that out because on the off year, I think y'all got to just confirm it. Y'all got to give it to me. The people that have been saying that Lane Thompson-Herah can do well outside of the Olympics, y'all looking real quiet and silent right now. Y'all was looking real silent at that time. Y'all keep saying people hating, and every time it's always they're injured, they're injured, they're injured. Dina Asher Smith is injured all the time. Are y'all going and caping and defending her? Are y'all defending other people? No, just keep the same energy. Are you defending Shelly Ann Fraser-Price that has confirmed this season or this previous season that she never got over and got fully healed from that toe injury? She never fully healed and that she can't even train at full capacity sometimes. She has to take off a few days. She's never had a chance. She said, I think she was implying that, hey, she'll finally be able to heal up when she stops running like in earnest, because then she might have a surgery or something like that. But right now, she has not healed up. How many other athletes are out there also running injured? So we can't just, now obviously we're going to talk about what we do know, the information we do know, to be fair. To defend the Thompson-Herah stands, we're going to talk about the information that we know. But Dina Asher Smith, you got to be sweating now. And I normally am like, yo, Dina Asher Smith can pop up. I'm going to see and evaluate in the middle of the next season. Tamari Davis is too much of an outlier. She's too young. She doesn't have a history. So I can't rightly say, okay, she's going to be able to make 3 rounds. Matter of fact, can she make it out of the USA trials, then make it out of the rounds at the World Championships? That's going to be the question. Because USA trials, some of the best people are left at home. Quite frankly. It's just, however, the nature of how it is in the U.S. and being ultra competitive, sometimes the best people get left at home. Right? But it's the best of the day. Kambunji, can she get something together and she can start doing things? Because she got a rocket start too. Kambunji is steadily increasing her speed. So we're going to see what happens with her. But Kambunji will favor Ophelia. She's at LSU. You know, they produced them 100-meter athletes. And while she did kind of look, man, she was flopping toward the end. I think it's just her adjusting to it. Because this is just her second season, if I'm not mistaken, running. Or is it the first season? Let me look here. I think this is her second season. Can y'all tell me if this is her second or first season? I can tell from her progression on her results if it's her first or second season. Yeah, it's her first season in earnest there, but it would be her second season. Yeah, it's her first season there, because unless she ran as a under 20 last year in Kenya, then it doesn't seem like that. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong. Is it her first or second season? Dang, I can't remember at the at college. I guess I can look at her past results. Let me look here for a second. Let's go by 2021 and see. Yeah, it's LSU, so it's her second season. So yeah, I should have been able to get the progression here from her personal best right here, because she didn't even run a 50. Yeah, that's what it was. I forgot the 2020 season there. So yes, she barely got a better personal best, and that was 2021. Didn't even run a 400 this year. So I would argue that her better events are the 4 and the 2, but they're gearing her up to be faster, because that's what LSU does. LSU produces 100, 200 meter athletes. They just crap them out. So she's gearing up there. Now, if she goes back up to the 400, man, it might be hard to beat her. Might be, hey, get your speed down in the 100, 200, come back up to that 400, get more of that speed endurance in there, and boom, they can't touch her. But let's see. Now, favor of Philly. If she gets another season, will she be able to do something consistent? Because right now, she has sputtered out at the end of this last season. It was hard to watch that. At the NCAAs, too, it was just like, whoa, what's going on? She was just tired out. Something. She was just tired out. Yep, she was just tired out. Michelle Lee IE, I don't see her as a real danger at all to Dina Asher-Smith. Nita, man. Nita. Man, Nita. Can y'all say it for me? I don't want to say it. I don't want to say it. But I know that she is so upset with herself. What happened at the European Championships? She thought she had a way in, and then where is that at? The results here. Let's look at the results. Third place. She said, Dina Asher-Smith ain't here. I thought I could have done something at the World Championships, and I didn't. So, all right, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it at the Commonwealth Games. Was it the Commonwealth, or was it both European Championships there? But both of them. Oh, yeah, I forgot. I didn't watch the Commonwealth, but I did remember that she did not win. I saw the headlines and everything. Here we go. Commonwealth Games, took an L. European Championships, took an L. She cannot win for lose. She can't win for lose. And I know, and you saw it on her face too. You saw it on her face. I saw the images from the Commonwealth Games. You saw it on her face like, yo, I could get this. You saw it on her face at the European Championships. And it's like, man. So, will she be a threat to Dina Asher-Smith? If she can get that stuff consistently, then yes. Because she's got Dina Asher-Smith's number. They race against each other enough. She knows Dina Asher-Smith's weakness. She should be able to do it, but I don't see her as a consistent threat at all. It's more like, okay, you can have that, Nita. Yeah, you can have that. It's like she's patting her on the head, and then when it comes to the World Championship, she's like, all right, I'm injured in everything, and you still ain't gonna get me. And then when she pulled up, and Nita couldn't get a medal at the World Championships, because she's like, all right, I couldn't get it in the open 100. I couldn't get it in other events. Maybe the 4x1. Yes, we got a contention right here. And then Dina Asher-Smith pulls up, or do some weird stuff. She like pulled up and then still kept running. I don't blame her. But yeah, man. So yeah, that's what it is. I wanted to point out Asher-Smith because that would be the underdog, so to speak, in the 100. Now, if we talk about Shelly Ann Fraser-Price. Man, what's going on back there? Y'all hear those sirens? I think they knew I was about to talk about Shelly Ann. Shelly Ann's getting older, and at any given moment, remember Asafa Powell's last time he broke 10 seconds, was it 36 or was it 34? I think it was 34. And when you start getting toward 38, it's like 40, give or take a few years in either direction, it starts to get shaky. So she's not quite there. Some people do it longer, some people do it shorter. And I mean, it could be just like this. Last season, she's running 10-6s like a magnet. And then the next season, she could be running 10-8s and 10-9s. And at any moment, we're like, okay, she's going to come out at the championship. She's going to come out, and then she just doesn't do it. So we got to be a little wary. I'm looking at her on the watch list. I can't just assume because of what she did. At this age, anything is possible. But like I said, I always like to point to Michael Johnson, breaking world records at 32 or 33. So she's 35 going on 36. She will be 36 next month. Let's see, December 27th. So about a month from now. Now let's see, who do y'all think can actually give Shelly Ann Fraser-Price a challenge? I ain't thinking nobody's going to be able to do that right now. Nobody's going to be able to do that. If she's at the top of her game. Not a single person. Elaine Thompson-Herah could get back into 10-5 shape, and I don't think she will be able to beat her. Nope. Not at all. Not at all. Not the way that Shelly Ann Fraser-Price is magnetically attached to a 10-6. Elaine Thompson-Herah could get in 10-5 shape, but can she do it as consistently and as magnetically as Shelly Ann Fraser-Price? She has shown this last season. She's like race after race after race after race. And I'm over here like, dang, when is she going to get injured? And she did. And she did get injured. Well, other than the other one. She opened up 10-6-7. 10-6-7. Just came through barely. She didn't even have a good start. She came out real slow, 10-7. So that was another 10-6 performance. Obviously, holding herself back in Eugene and everything. 10-6-7. It's like, wait a minute. Every time she was running and she ran 10-6, it was 10-6-7. It was so freaking crazy. 10-6-6, 10-6-7, 10-6-2, 10-7-4, and second place. Obviously, she was like, hey, I'm injured, got the hamstring thing going on other than her toe. 10-6-5. It's like, hey, if you hurt and you running a 10-7-4, hurt, hey, you like, man, okay. This is giving some Michael Johnson in the 400 vibes and in the 200 back then. Usain Bolt at a championship setting, not during the season. He didn't have as dominant of a season all the time, especially he's hurt and injured. No, this is giving those type of vibes there. Then you look at her 200, and she's out there. Some of these she was jogging out through, and she didn't try as hard, but she's running sub 22 now consistently. Her speed endurance is on top of the world. Her speed endurance is there. Who's gonna be able to meet up with her if she can carry over what happened this last season to the next one? If she can build strength to strength, it's a wrap. There's nothing. Everybody keeps claiming that Elaine Thompson-Herah is better than Shelly Ann Fraser-Price in the 100. And I'm like, where is that? How can you say that? She's got better potential. Man, where's her potential gotten her? She keeps getting injured. Yeah, she's the first Jamaican to run a 10-5 anything. That's great. All right. Now, didn't Shelly Ann Fraser-Price set a record before that with the 10-6-3, 10-6-7? I think last season, the first Jamaican to run that type of time. Okay, great. Now we're going to see times getting faster. Great. But Shelly Ann Fraser-Price set the bar. Elaine Thompson-Herah has confirmed that. It's kind of like running. It's like competing against the person that made the scientific discoveries, and then you're making a few more on top of that, and then that person just kind of stays there consistently, like here, this one, and this one, and this one, and that one. That's kind of like what we're at. I don't see anybody being able to do it. Not Elaine. Now, if I do see somebody, I'm going to say it like this. I'm going to have to say it. It's going to be Shericka Jackson as a consistent contender. Now, if it's at the Olympic year, then we talking different. World Championship, we got to go by history. The past is the best indicator of the future, not the only one, but the best one. So the past is going to be that indicator. And if we look at the progression of a Sharika Jackson, she's going down there. Now, if she can get into that 10-6, and people are saying she ain't got the start, great, fantastic. She ran a 1076 without even training for the 100. She was doing 400-meter training, and she just ran the 100. That's what she said, and her coach confirmed that. Now, they could just do some mythical, like try to make her sound better than she is. But if she was doing 400-meter training and she just decided not to do the 400, as you can see, last season, she still ran the 400. Didn't she run on the 4x4? She still ran the 400 on the 4x4, so that makes sense. Now, obviously, at some point during the season, she's probably peaking a little bit different. But Sharika Jackson's a dangerous contender to a Shelly Ann. Yes, Shelly Ann is running the 10-6 low at the end of the season. Yeah. If Sharika Jackson can start tapping into that 10-6 energy, it's a wrap. Now let's get over to Sharika Jackson and his world record in the 200. Now I said that she could break this world record and she don't even have to run a 10-5. People were arguing against me. Now they've changed their narrative and saying she got to run a 10-6, 10-6-7, 10-6-5. I'm like, y'all behind the 8 ball again. This channel has been correctly saying, for the most part, predictions in the 100, the 200, the 800, the 5,000, and the marathon. And then we had a couple of them in the jumps. I was calling out with China, and China's been doing it. But those, and I'm talking about even numbers I've been giving y'all. Now, I was wrong about Dina Asher-Smith. I'll take that L. Oh, yeah, I still got to announce the winner. I think nobody actually really won anything, but I gave one person the some points anyway. So I still got to announce that. I'm glad I remembered it. So I'll do that in December. But yeah, this world record is almost certainly going down. If she gets into that, I would even say she doesn't even have to really break 10-7 to do it. And the reason being is because her breaking 10-7 or her not breaking 10-7, that's kind of irrelevant. That's kind of irrelevant because if Michael Johnson could break world records without having to break 10 seconds, then she can break this world record without having to break 10-7. Now, she would happen to likely break 10-7. Yeah, she would likely break 10-7 just based on the sheer numbers where it sets at right now. But what do you guys think on that one? Give me your comments in either the live stream or in this case, it would be most likely the people watch it after the fact. But who knows who will last this far. But I think she's definitely going to get that. Well, she's almost certainly going to get that. I can't say a definite. But in my mind, I will say from a biased perspective, I got to do from the analytics perspective, which was the first one. She's highly likely. I give her a 90% chance of doing it. In my mind, she's definitely getting it. I can't see how Sharika Jackson. So that was the non-biased, and now mine is the biased one. Sharika Jackson is gonna definitely get this one. And the way I say it from a biased perspective, not because I'm Jamaican, because I'm not. I look at it from the how can she not get it with she's staying away from being injured. Like she got injured before, right? And that's why she even ran the 400. She's staying away from being injured. She's building her strength from strength. She goes from 2205. Then she gets it real good. COVID, yeah, that stuff happened. And then 2181 to a 2145. That's a big drop at those speeds. That's a big drop at those speeds. Can she drop another 0.2 of a second and get to 2125? And then if she can do that, I'll give her some wiggle room in that she's not going to drop that. I say from my the biased analysis here, I would say that if she drops and gets to a 10.67, she would be able to be in that range. That's enough time. Because I've been telling y'all, and here's another proof right here. I done told y'all time and time again. Trolls, sit down. Trolls, sit down. And I'm gonna say this in the future again. It's not that many people viewing this, but I'm gonna say this again. I gotta thump my chest real quick on this one. These trolls were saying that, oh, a woman, in order to break 22 seconds, or no, in order to run a certain time, you have to double the time. And since this person hasn't run this time, they was getting all babbling and everything. Basically, they said, and I defeated them with Gabby Thomas. She can't even break 11 seconds. Yet she ran a 21.6. They were like, well, you got to take 2 times and add them together, and that's how fast they can run. Hey, Rabbit, you better stop. About Rabbit chewing on the wall. So, in order to run a 21.33, see, you got to be able to do this. I forgot what time they were saying. They basically were saying you got to add both of the times together, and a woman can't do that. They're not like men. And I was like, since when do women not negative split in the 200? I don't know how many people I had to bring up, but the first one, the easiest one to bring up is Gabby Thomas. And that ain't an outlier. Because they were like, well, unless you're a DSD athlete, then you can't do it. And I'm like, oh my goodness. And Sharika Jackson's another one. All you got to do is simply just add up the people's times. Because they're looking at Shelly Ann Fraser-Price and saying, well, Shelly Ann can do this, but she can't do the other thing. And I'm like, that's not how that works. And actually, when you add up these times right here, when you add up this, she actually underperformed. And you know why? Because that was a one-off race here in Monaco. And this wasn't a one-off race here. She was better peaked here. Let's add up these times right here. 10, 7, 1. 10 plus 10 is 20. All right, and the 7 and the 7, right? All right, it looks like we're right here. The 7 and the 7 would add another 1. That's 14, and then that's 2. So her time would be 21:42. So she actually underperformed. You know why? Because she had some rounds right there. Now, if you add up the time here to here, you kind of see something right here. 10, 10. Right here. You actually see 21:82. So she performed about even. If you keep going down the line with her times, she's going to be about even or slightly faster. So I guess with that logic with Sharika Jackson, see, this is coming from the speed base too, a little bit this season, I think, versus this one was more of the endurance. But this kind of shows me that if she did the rounds here, if she didn't have those rounds, that would have been faster. What do y'all think about that one? What do y'all think about that one? Because you can kind of just see low-key her performances. Even going back to 2018 right here. She has negative splitted her time. I was looking for that where it was negative split because I know I look back at her times and she can negative split on her times. Because this definitely, you double this number, it's already higher. You could tell. That'll be 22:26. She's already negative split. She can negative split on her times. So she does not need to run even a 21. Now it would help if she gets some buffer room. If she runs like a 21:65 or faster, it's almost a wrap even with some rounds. But then she might underperform that. Now you could say she underperformed a little bit too because she kind of looked to celebrate as well. It was that psychological thing, like right there, you could kind of see she was driving, but then she was like, yeah, and she celebrated right there at the line. But maybe she let up just slightly beforehand. But Sharika Jackson getting this world record, it's a wrap. I think I'm going to do a dedicated video straight for that. Let me see, who else should I be covering? We're going to cover the men, but I'm going to stop it right here. I think I've done enough right now. I think I've been at this for an hour. Yeah, an hour. So I'll catch you guys on the next one. You've been watching Head and Shoulders ATR, where we cover athletes, performances, and otherwise that are head and shoulders above the rest. Don't forget to like, comment, and share this video because we got to rebuild the viewership on here. Share this video with WhatsApp. I appreciate everybody